another team, with a slower start, just flat out, how concerned are you about this start for the Yankees?
As a fan, it's frustrating to say the least. I think as a Yankee fan, you're expecting them to come out opening day and be a team that's going to be one of the best in the division. I don't think any Yankee fan expected Boston to be on a 9-game winning streak and at top of the AL East. But outside of that, I think Cole has shown a lot of good things for the Yankees. When he's on the mound, they're dominant. He's 2-0 in 3 starts. He's given them 3 runs and 12 hits in 18 1/3 innings pitched. So he has no question been dominant. It's just everything around Garrett Cole that's the problem with the Yankees. The other starters combined for a record of 1-4. They've allowed 28 runs and 48 hits in 36 innings. So that's a serious problem if you're in the Yankee ownership or if you're Aaron Boone, to fix the problems surrounding Garrett Cole. And then usually the pitching has always been a problem for the Yankees, but when you see the bats not coming alive and you're getting shut out by teams, that's a big problem. I mean, guys, outside of Aaron Judge, the lineup's really struggled. There's 5 guys hitting over 250, and only 4 of them are everyday starters. So that's a really big problem for the Yankees right now. You're not hitting with guys in running scoring position. You're grounding into double plays, first and second, 1 out. These are really big problems that I think the Yankees will hopefully work to solve throughout the year. The hitting, I think, will come to pass, but the pitching is starting to look concerning. Last week I was on the show and I was saying the hitting's more of a problem, but when you see these pitchers get really lit up by these teams like the Blue Jays, it gets concerning. The Orioles, when they're hitting our pitching, that's when the Yankees should get concerned. So I think addressing the pitching outside of Cole should be a really important stress for the Yankees. And then the hitting's got to heat up. I mean, you got the guys that should be hitting. The problem is that they're just not.
Right. So the Yankees did lose today. They're now at 5-7. They lost 4-5 to the Blue Jays. Walk-off homer, as you mentioned. Like you said, I agree. The rotation outside of Cole is not just a problem. It's a glaring one. There is a Marcus Stroman quote about the Yankees, and he acknowledged, he said they've got Cole, and Cole is real good. And outside of him, they have no one else better than me. Just that rotation outside of Cole's the ace, and he's not just an ace. He is elite. However, he can't, he can't buoy the whole ship on his own. I think the rotation is full of guys who have a high ceiling, but also a low floor. And right now, you're not seeing those high ceilings get achieved, making it difficult to have production across the board that you're confident in and proud of. The guys just haven't looked great. To bring someone up in particular, I want to know how you felt about Kluber's play. Some people are concerned. Some people are encouraged that he looks really great in the first inning. But then, the other side is that he seems to fade out a bit after that first inning. How does Kluber's play make you feel so far just throughout the season in these first 12 games?
Yeah, I think the thing that really concerns me about Kluber thus far is just his inability to get past the fourth inning in these games. I know the Yankees are probably a little safe with him, and they don't want to get him too much past the pitch count, but he was a guy that used to go 7-8 innings back in his prime. And when you bring in someone like Kluber, you're hoping he can get you 6 innings, really, so you put less of a stress on the bullpen. But if he can only go 4 innings for you, and then maybe at worst case scenarios, he's going 3 innings and change, that's a really big problem, because then you're going to have to piece together the final 5 innings with the bullpen that has had problems this year. So I feel like if Kluber really wants to get in the groove, he's going to have to start going more in the strike zone and try more balls on the ground, and especially in Yankee Stadium, that's going to be key for him. So if he can do that, then there's a lot of upside to a guy like Kluber, but we have not seen that from him yet. So there's definitely concern, and he's a guy that should be the 3rd guy in this starting rotation, but I don't think he's a 5th guy on a lot of contending teams right now.
Right. I understand that. I agree. The concern about him not being able to get through games is valid. You know, the starts are nice, but you'd like to see consistency as well. Um, you spoke a lot about how it's going to take time, but the Yankees have some different kinks to work out up and down the roster. Just if they want to get the team right and have themselves playing at the level that they think or know that they can. What particularly, what moves were you thinking? Just thinking now off the top of my head, whether it's putting LeMahieu at first, or how do you feel about that? Just what do you think could help them get to a better spot, and how much do you think it could help realistically?
Honestly, I think the outfield is a big question mark. I think that when Brett Gardner is one of your best hitters, I think that says a lot about how offensively you're struggling. I don't think he should be an everyday starter, but he's hitting better than Hicks. He's been hitting better than Frazier. So I think the ideal outfield would be Hicks in center, Frazier in left, and Judge in right. But you have no other choice but to start Gardner if he's got the hot bat. I think there's also problems in the infield. I think that Glaber struggled defensively at shortstop, and I think maybe you tinker with the defense and try to work it so that he's not the starting shortstop. Maybe LeMay goes to first, maybe Glaber goes to second, but I'm not sure if you have enough infielders where Urshela stretches to short. I don't really see that. So I think there's definitely question marks there. Ideally, in a perfect world, Didi's still a Yankee and he's our shortstop, but that's gone and
Right.
he's a Philly now.
Yeah, my Mets are playing him.
Yeah, so I
Right.
mean, he's good for the Phillies, but the Yanks need to find their shortstop or a guy that can work with Glaber in the middle infield. So I think
Right.
there's a lot of questions. I think most of them will be worked out on their own. I don't think the Yankees should be in a rush to go out and get somebody at this time, especially for the offensive side, because on paper, when you're looking at the team, there isn't many places to improve. I mean, all these guys that are in the lineup were proven guys last year. They just can't
Right.
hit right now. And when they're getting hits, it's with nobody on or nobody on runners in scoring position. So that's just an unlucky thing, or just maybe it's a problem with the hitting mentality with runners in scoring position. So there's problems there, but I think those will work out. It's really the pitching that the Yankees need to focus on and hope that turns around.